you have any regrets so far?
No, I don't have any regrets. The only regret that I have is really, like I said, not learning Kiswahili. I don't wish I had done it sooner because I don't feel like I was on the right mental space to make a move like this. If I had done it a few years earlier in my life, I moved out here at 30. Right after I had turned 30. So before then my life was kind of a whirlwind, and I wouldn't have been as receptive to, a move like this. So yeah,
Oh.
that's it.
Hello, Jumbo. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Returnee series. Today, we're going to host someone who has chosen an East African nation again, someone who's been in East Africa for quite some time now. Well, some of you may already know that, but let's just invite our guest. Hello.
Hello, hello. Hey, hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for inviting me on your show, African Tigress. I am honored to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on this show. I've always wanted to host you. You can start by introducing yourself.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Traveling Sister or Catherine Kashimbo. I have been here in Tanzania since December 2016, and I chose Tanzania as my home. I didn't come visit first. I just made the move. I did a little research, very little research, and I just kind of made the move on a whim, and it turns out this is the best move of my life, hands down.
Wow, wow. So, had you ever been to any other African nation before?
No, no, this is my first time on the continent. I've been to multiple countries, probably, I don't know, I lost count, maybe around 30 different countries all over the world, but this was my first time on the continent.
Okay, and how was the feeling when you first got to Tanzania when you landed?
So the feeling, you know, it felt oddly familiar, to be honest. When I got
Mhm.
off the plane in the airport, it felt like, it didn't feel like I was entering a country where I didn't belong, for one, because I see nothing but beautiful black people all around me. But it really had this sense of familiarity, like I had been there before, or that I was just comfortable. I was just very, very comfortable, and I was super excited. This is my first time on the continent, so I'm excited.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So, what do you miss most about the US?
Um, Honestly, I get this question a lot, and it's really not much I miss about the US. It's little things, like little conveniences, like being able to get my favorite snack, or just something very, very small, or going into my favorite stores, and just little things like that. But it's not too much I miss about the States. I will say this, though. I will say that when I'm trying to get something done, In the States it's hurry, so it's a faster paced lifestyle. And it took a lot of adjusting for me to get used to the slower paced lifestyle out here, because it really is a pole lifestyle and no one is really in a big rush. And I feel like that's just kind of the natural order of life anyway. So it kind of forced me to slow down and really just, you know, take things into perspective, like, hey, not everywhere you're going to go. It's going to be, things are going to be available fast and, things like that. So I guess that's what I did miss, but I've become accustomed to just slowing down and chilling out.
Oh, okay. And what do you love most about Tanzania?
Well, off top, it's a country in Africa. We're black. I love that. I love the natural lifestyle. I love that I can get fresh organic food at the market and it's not costing me half of my paycheck, because food like this in America is crazy. It's a lot of money. I like just the fresh air. I like the fact that I can go just anywhere here in especially Arusha, and just have a peace of mind. I like that I don't have to worry about police brutality, racism, things like that.
Okay, that's awesome. Initially, when you moved to Tanzania, I saw your videos. You moved to you are living in a village. Do you still live
Mhm.
in a village?
Yes, I've moved to a different village. Since my very first video, I've moved to one, two, three different places actually. But yeah, I'm still in the village. It's always the village. I I don't really want to live in the city with all the noise and stuff like that. So. Mhm.
That's interesting. How easy was it for you to adapt, keeping in mind that you are coming from the US, which is probably bigger, even more than Dar es Salaam?
Honestly, it was not hard at all, because I'm a very adaptable person. I'm one of those people, and I've always been one of those people who just kind of adapt and kind of go with the flow. And I pick up a lot around me. I pick up on social cues pretty quickly and stuff like that, because, like I said, I've been to umpteen different countries, 20 some different countries. And so I feel like that's a part of when you travel and you go around different places, you start to adapt quickly. So I had no problem really.
Oh, okay. And how
Mhm.
was the community reception?
Honestly, people are so welcoming here. Like, of course, I got stares and stuff because, one, I have a lot of tattoos. I don't know if you can, see all these tattoos and stuff. So I got a lot of stares because people were like, you kind of look like us, but you look a little different. You have your Kiswahili is terrible, and you have a different accent when you do speak Kiswahili. So, but overall, I was very, very warmly welcomed, especially by the neighborhood kids. They would just come over and I would give them juice and cookies, and just people were they looked out for me and stuff like that. So it was a beautiful, beautiful transition.
Oh, so did you learn the language before you moved to Tanzania?
No, the only thing I knew was Mambo VP. That's it. That is it. And so, I mean, that was probably my biggest struggle in moving here, is the language barrier, because I was reading all these statistics online and they were like, Tanzania is about 40% English speaking. So I'm like, oh, that's good enough. 40%, I can maneuver with that. When I got here, it was nowhere near that. At least, because I spent a lot of my time in the villages. So it was, no, nobody in the villages speaks
Yeah.
English. So, I really had to learn quickly, and I'm still not where I need to be. I'm conversational at this point.
That's awesome. And I think living among people who speak the language, you easily learn the language, right?
Yeah, it is a lot easier. It is a lot easier, but it's only easier if you have someone who also speaks English, so they can kind of translate for you. I mean, I pick up on a couple of things, but yeah, it's been a little struggle.
All right. Tell
Mhm.
us briefly about your experience there first year.
Okay, so my experience the first year, it was just, man, it was amazing. So I first started off, as I got off the plane, I spent a couple of days in, where is it, Dar es Salaam, and then I went over to Zanzibar. I spent about 2 weeks in Zanzibar just exploring, because initially that's where I wanted to set roots. So I just went to the beaches. I was in Stone Town mainly, and just checking out the nightlife, checking out just different areas of Zanzibar, and it was beautiful, but it just wasn't necessarily for me. I just wanted, that to be a place where I would come visit. And so I was like, let me check out mainland. So I went to Dar es Salaam, and I was staying in a hotel for a couple of, it probably was about 2 or 3 weeks actually. And then I decided that I wanted to, just venture out and find a home, because I got tired of spending all that money on the hotel. So you know, kind of long story short, I ended up meeting up with a friend who is now my husband, and
Wow.
yeah, his family opened their home to me, and told me that, hey, just throw in for groceries and food at the market, and you can stay here until you find a home. So I just, before him and I even started dating, we would just go explore and just do all these things. He would take me to these amazing places, not only in Dar es Salaam, but he took me up here to visit Arusha and go hiking in Kilimanjaro to the waterfall. So I did a lot of exploring around basically the Dar area, Zanzibar, and Arusha area my first year, and it was just really filled with wonder. And I was just like, just jaw dropping beauty all around, just experiencing a lot. So yeah, that's basically what my first year was like. It went by so fast, very fast.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hmm.
And did you experience any challenges? Maybe get to a point and feel like you want to go back to the US?
Oh no, 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 no. I definitely experienced challenges now. I'm not gonna say that my ride has just been easy breezy, peachy keen, like I said, the language barrier, that was a huge thing. And just learning the little nuances of the culture, like I always give this anecdote of where I wore shorts to the market. Okay. And this market is called Kilimanjaro. Oh, see, you already know. I see your
I've
face.
been there.
You already know, okay? And they weren't crazy. They were just like mid thigh, loose, not tight or any, hoochie mama shorts you would wear to the club or anything. But I literally, a whole mob of people surrounded me. Like, I had to rap with a katenge, and everything. Like, people were chasing me. It was so crazy. I didn't. I'm like. It was a point where I didn't even know what was going on because things were happening so fast. But you know, that was a negative experience, but I look back on it and laugh, of course, because it really is funny. It really is funny. But just other little things, like, because I don't speak the language, people tend to, if I walk into a store, before I knew Shingapi or Begani, I would ask, oh, how much is this? And they would be like, 3,000 T shilling, knowing this bottle of water is 1,000 T shilling, just little things like that. But never has it been anything drastic enough for me to want to go back to America, ever. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Your experience at Kirumbero, I was there with a friend and she had a similar experience. So,
See?
in Tanzanian market, you don't go with anything above the knee,
Yeah,
right?
you don't. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what do you wish you knew before you moved to Tanzania?
Hmm. What I wish I knew, that's such a good question. I wish I knew Kiswahili, obviously, because I feel like my transition would have been a lot smoother, and it would have taken less time for me to kind of settle into the culture. I also wish I knew more history about Tanzania, because I didn't know anything about Tanzania before I came. I knew that the Serengeti was here, Mount Kilimanjaro was here, and Zanzibar. That's it. But Tanzania has such a rich history, like not only with the East African slave trade, but with Olduvai Gorge, the cradle of mankind. There's just so much historic things here, and a lot of historic things that's happened with like the Maji Maji rebellion, and just a lot of things. And I feel like I would have also had an easier transition if I had known the history, because if you know the history, then you tend to know a little bit more about the people. So that's just one other little thing. What else? No, that's about it. That's all I can think of.
Oh, all right. So you said you did one year knowing very well that you're going to Tanzania. Did you have to ship your items?
No, I sold most of all of my stuff. Like when I say most, I mean like 98% of my stuff I sold. I packed everything down to 2 suitcases. What I couldn't fit in 2 suitcases, then I sold or gave to Goodwill. I bought my camera bag and my tripod, and that was it. Nothing else.
Ah, okay. So did you get visa on arrival, or you needed to apply for visa before you got to Tanzania?
I got a visa on arrival. At that time, I don't know, because it was December 2016. I don't even know if they had the system how they have now, where you can apply for a visa online or ahead. Otherwise, you would have to go to the embassy, the actual embassy in DC. But nope, I got a visa on arrival, $100 cash. And it was about a 10-15 minute process. It was pretty smooth.
Any immunization requirements?
No, there weren't any, but they did ask me if I had a yellow fever vaccine, but they didn't know that I was coming from the States. So if you're coming from a country that has a prominence in yellow fever, then they're going to ask you for the yellow fever card. It's like a little booklet, that shows your immunization and stuff like that, but not coming from the States.
All right. And you have a child now?
Yes, I do. Zora, she's 2 years old.
Oh, born in Tanzania, speaks Kiswahili.
She was actually born in the States. I went back to Virginia to have her. That's where my mom and my grandmother are. But yeah, she speaks more Kiswahili than me. She teaches me words almost every day. I have to ask my husband, like, what did she say? Yeah, because she's fluent. She's fluent by now.
I think for her, she doesn't have any challenges adapting because she's a child, and
Right.
Tanzania probably is the only home that she's known.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And how much money did you need before moving?
Okay, so I always tell people it's gonna depend on your type of lifestyle. Like, mm, because if you're very adaptable, if you live like a local, who you don't have to have like a lot of niceties or amenities and things like that. If you choose to live a very basic lifestyle, then you can really budget for at the most $500 per month, and that's way overshooting it, just because every now and then you're going to want to go out to eat, you're going to want to go out for drinks maybe, and this, that, and the third. So $500 per month, you will be living very comfortable as a single person. And honestly, to put it in perspective, like it's me, Freddie, Zora, and our Dada Wakazi. We spend as a family about $500 a month on, everything between groceries and internet and gas for the car and, just little things like that. So, but we're
Wow.
living, we're not living like Mzungus out here, because you can live an Mzungu lifestyle and, pay the
Mhm.
Mzungu prices. And that's not what I came here for. So I would say to be very, very comfortable, 500 US dollars or around 1 million T shilling per month per person.
Mhm. The amount of money that you mentioned, does it include accommodation?
Say that again.
Does that include accommodation, renting?
Yeah, it actually can. So that price that I gave, that's outside of your accommodations. But if you have a place like the very first place that I lived in, which was just basically a very basic 1 bedroom standalone home or apartment with just a sitting room, a bathroom, and a bedroom and a kitchen, you can, what was I paying, about $65 per month. You can find something like that unfurnished, because the prices have went up a little bit, so it's probably going to be unfurnished for between $65 and $100 a month. And if you're alone, you can definitely live off of $400, per month, along with the rent, if your rent is being $100 per month. So it's very doable, very very doable.
Awesome. And how are you generating revenue?
Basically, I do freelance graphic design. I do freelance photography as well. A little videography and YouTube. That's it.
Are you looking at building your credit so that you can have some finances to relocate to the motherland? Well, www.creditbuildingmasterclass.com is the place to go. As long as you're watching this video, you can access that book free of charge. I'm going to leave a link in the comment section as well as in the description box. Go ahead and learn to improve or build your credit. So,
Okay.
what type would you advise someone who's coming from the diaspora to come seek employment in Tanzania?
I wouldn't say come seek employment, unless you have something lined up with like the embassy or, a government job or something with maybe an NGO or something paying with that. But I always urge people, hey, come out with an entrepreneurial mindset, even if it is something like doing freelance work or, stuff like that. Come with the ideas of starting up a farm, starting up your own business, starting up a restaurant, something not to be employed, but to empower yourself financially in turn that you can help empower the community, help even provide jobs, even if it's only a couple, to people out here. Come with the mindset of entrepreneurship.
Okay, so what type of skills and industries do you think are needed in Tanzania?
Okay, so they're always like, from what I see, they're always looking for English teachers at schools, primary, secondary schools, and things like that. Farming is just a huge thing. There's a lot of exotic fruits and vegetables here that would do very well if you would export it. If you find a market on the outside, it can do very well. Man, it's a lot of things that people can do out here. But as far as needs, I would say off the top of my head, I would say people are always seeking English teachers. People are always seeking web designers, technical things like that, up that alley. Even good photographers and videographers. At least here in Arusha, I know Dar es Salaam is pretty saturated with good photographers and things like that. But it's still kind of, pole here in Arusha. So, people are always seeking just any skill, anything that's different, that can be of service to people.
Awesome. And I forgot to ask the cost of living. Could you know how much it would be for someone who is living in Dar es Salaam?
For Dar es Salaam, I would say it's slightly higher than it is here in Arusha, and I only say that because of the rent prices, but it all depends on where you live. If you get a place in Masaki or Mikocheni or something like that, then those are the more expensive areas. Then, you're going to pay for your rent. But if you get something like further outside the city, like Buza or maybe Mbezi, not Mbezi Beach, but the other one, there's two Mbezis, then, you can find something for a very reasonable price. Food, I think food, like street food anyway, that tends to be cheaper than it is here. But fruits and vegetables are a little more expensive because they're usually grown up here or, in a different region of Tanzania than Dar es Salaam, because the soil in Dar es Salaam is kind of sandy. So it can only grow certain things. So they import a lot of their foods from still Tanzania, but just from other regions. So that tends to be a little more expensive. But overall, I would say they are about the same because it kind of balances out between the food and the rent in both places. But still, just budget for a little bit more. I would just maybe add $100 more on top of my budget if you decide to go to Dar es Salaam.
Oh, all right. And can Africa diasporans open a bank in Tanzania?
No, the only way you can open a bank is if you have either some type of residency or you come out and start a business, and you get a business, not only a business license, but what is it, a work permit, then you can open a bank account.
All right. And I know also getting citizenship is not as easy.
No, it's not. In that part, when you go back to the question of what a big struggle has been, that is a big struggle here. It's a very, excuse me, it's a very big struggle. I'm covered because I'm married to a Tanzanian man. So I have residency through my husband. Zora has dual citizenship up until she's 18, but other than that, they don't honor dual citizenship here. But yeah, citizenship is it's really an uphill battle, but I feel like we're making strides. There's a few things that are going on with a diaspora movement out here. That I can probably give you a little detail about later because I don't have all the details 100%, but trust and believe that moves are being made for the repatriation of the diaspora, and things are moving forward pretty quickly, if you ask me. So stay tuned.
All right, all right. That's quite interesting. I look forward to hear about that. Also, Zola has dual citizenship until she's 18. So when she gets to 18, she'll have to drop one of the citizenship, right?
Yeah, she'll have to choose, and we're just gonna educate her and things like that on the benefits of being a Tanzanian citizen and the benefits of being an American citizen, because even though I am not returning home to live, it's an advantage having a US passport. I can't even lie. It's easy to move about the world to go visit almost any country visa free or hassle free. Even if I do need a visa, they don't give me the third degree, and ask all these crazy questions. Like, just for an example, Freddie and I went to Sri Lanka a couple of years ago just for a vacation and to check out some gemstone industries and stuff like that. And they gave me my visa with no problem. They barely looked at my passport, like, oh, okay, And then when it got to Freddie, they were inspecting his passport, going through every page. The guy called his manager over there, like, hey, come look at it. Is this the same guy? When it clearly was. And I feel like we're both black, so it has to be because he has a Tanzanian passport and I have an American
Yeah.
passport. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna educate Zora on the perks and the benefits of both, but I have pure confidence that she's gonna choose, because she's already a very strong-headed, smart little girl. So she's gonna choose the best option for her.
Awesome, awesome. And now let's talk about land. How much does land cost there?
Ooh, land can be, it depends on where you buy it. Okay. I've seen land as little as $450 per acre, and I have seen land as much as 20,000 or $30,000 per acre, and that's like beachfront property in the Dar es Salaam region or Zanzibar, like right on the beach, like you're buying the beach. The land that tends to be cheaper is usually the land in the villages, or the land that's more inland, like off of the main roads, and the land that's less developed. meaning they don't usually they're not on the electrical grid of the city, or they don't have like the government water or the city water, what is it, plumbing, piping system, I can't, but you know what I'm saying, they don't have
Yeah.
like that water set up. But that's, to me personally, that's an advantage because you can always you can always drill for water, in a well. You can always use solar, and I feel like it's important that we kind of move towards that anyways, but that's a whole different thing. But yeah, land is cheap. Land can be cheap depending on where you buy it.
Is it on freehold or lease? And can Africa diaspora just buy land, or is it also hard like citizenship?
Yeah, you would have to be a citizen, or what a lot of people do, okay, and I especially see a lot of Mzungus coming out here doing this, is where they would kind of partner up with a local person basically, and purchase land under their name and get the rights to that land. Hey baby. Yeah, they would get the rights to that land, through the person who they've trusted and built a relationship with to, purchase the land for them.
Oh, okay. And are
Mhm.
there any taxes for the land?
Yeah, there are taxes for the land, but they are very, very minuscule. I feel like, I don't know the exact percentage, but I personally know someone who has about 4 or 5 acres, and they pay 200,000 T shilling for the year for the taxes, and that's less than $100. That's less than $100.
Why do you think it is important for Africa diaspora to visit or move to the continent?
Because, well, for one, we need the more you know about yourself, okay, the more comfortable you're going to feel. And what I mean by that is basically, it's our heritage. This is where we belong. We are Africans, displaced Africans, but we are Africans nonetheless. And the nations that we live in, whether that's in the U.S., whether that's in Europe, whether that's wherever it is, throughout the world, um, it's not our home. We might have grown up there. These are the nations that we may have built off of our backs, blood, sweat, tears. You know,
Mhm.
what America was founded on, slavery and genocide. So it's important for us to come back and return back to our roots. So not only can we put ourselves in a safe environment and feel comfortable expressing ourselves, but we can help to heal the generational curses and heal the generational scars that we have, so that we can basically ascend and be better people, to take ourselves out of these trauma filled environments where we are where we're faced with adversity every single day, just merely existing. So it's very important that we come back home, and not only just to feel comfortable within ourselves and move freely, and be liberated within ourselves, but also that we can take the skills that we have acquired back home, back in our home countries and things, and give back to the communities here, because we have had some advantages of growing up in the West, and things like that. Zora, mommy, stop, baby. So it's important that we do bring our skills back home. You know, being being
Mhm.
here on the continent.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Hi, Zola. Hey, Zola. How are you? Ah, it's so adorable.
Asante.
Oh, karibu. All right. So, lastly, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to make the move to Africa?
My advice is just not only for Tanzania, but it can be for any African country. Do your research, of course, but don't research it to death. Okay. If you feel a calling, if you feel a pulling to come to the continent, come, especially in times like these. Like, the situation in the whole world is so volatile right now. You never know what they're going to be doing with the borders. They're trying to implement all of these crazy vaccines. They really have a plan to terminate us as Black people. And I don't, just do your research, okay? But if you're gonna do it, get off your butt. Do it now. Try to find a way that you can generate income, but do it. It's a life altering move, and it's for the better. It's for the betterment of yourself and the betterment of the diaspora, essentially. You know, just find that courage and know that I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's why I made the YouTube channel, seriously, to show that it is possible for diasporans to come back home. Even to a very difficult country to immigrate to, like Tanzania. I've been here. There's also a growing community of diaspora that's here in Arusha specifically. It's over 30 of us here.
Wow.
It's difficult, but we're here. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's a lot. 30 just in Arusha?
Just in Arusha. And I know it's more, but I just haven't been able to find everyone. But yeah, we out here, okay? We are here. So people are finding ways.
Yeah, I guess Dar es Salaam would even be more.
Yeah,
more.
I know it's more. I know it's more in Dar, but I haven't been active down there in a while. I pop in every now and then, but I've seen a few. Last time I was down there, actually, it was probably 2 months ago, and I'm in this place called Slipway, and a couple people walk up to me and like, "Hey, you're traveling sister," and they're African American. So I'm like, this is just one place, and it's not a big place. So I know it's a multitude of people out in Dar es Salaam that have repatriated. So it's a beautiful thing.
All right, tell us about your YouTube channel.
Okay, so with Traveling Sister, I started it maybe a few months after I moved here in Tanzania. I started in 2017, the beginning of 2017. And I basically made this just to chronicle parts of my journey and my transition out to Tanzania, out to Africa, and just answer questions that weren't really available online at the time, because when I was doing research to move in 2016, I couldn't find any information. I might have stumbled on one YouTuber who had been out here. I can barely remember because it was so long ago. But I just wanted to answer the questions that I had. I just started making the videos and showing people just parts of my life and everything, and how the transition would possibly look for people coming out, for diaspora coming out.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you.
It's been a pleasure being on here. Thank you so much, African Tigress. You're doing wonderful work interviewing all of us repatriates, showing people that it's possible. Keep on trucking, sis. You are on to something, okay? As you already know.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to leave a link to your channel so that people can come and just follow and get more information about Tanzania. Thank you so much for watching this amazing episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and your answers or questions that you had about moving to the motherland were answered, especially Tanzania. And if you are looking at building your credit to have some finances to move, like I said, don't forget to check out creditbuildingmasterclass.com for more information and knowledge on how you can build your credit in readiness to coming to the motherland. All right, kindly share it out, subscribe in case you're not subscribed. Let's reach as many brothers and sisters out there. Until next time, kwaheri.
yangu wasenesi makire mtuzeha sana nena finira chechemekwe yangu wasenesi makire mtuzeha Cheche me